guys, this is Bonnie from A Backward Story, and today I want to talk to you about the 14 books that I read, or reread as the case may be. A lot of these were ebooks. The base that they're on is part of a birthday present that I'll talk about in a later video, but it's super cute. I love it. I figured I would add the nail polish that I'm wearing right now because everybody's been commenting on it. It's called Sunday Fun Day by Essie, as well as some of the swag I've gotten in subscription boxes this month. I have a necklace from Second Star Books here, as well as their bookmark, a sticker from Nerdy Post from the Hamilton box, and a candle and magnetic bookmarks from Flick the Wick. But I know you guys want to hear about the books, and I have this handy-dandy reading journal from my June Fairy Loot with all of the books that I read this month to help me out, as well as a list of some of the books I wanted to buy. And this is really handy because I usually don't keep a reading list and just read what I'm in the mood for, but I have a ton of interviews coming up. I haven't gotten to most of them, and I'm doing a month-long event in September, so I really do need to be on track right now. So the very first book I read is What My Sister Knew by Nina Lauren, which just came out in June, and I read that at the beginning of July, and then I plan to go into her book that came out last year, Girl Last Seen, and then I really had to get to the Jenny Han and Alex Bracken books, so I put it to the side, but this is actually the next book I'm going to read, so it's going to be my second book of August. I'm currently reading Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren, which is coming out September 4th, so I have a lot of interviews to do coming up, and I'm almost ready for the next two. I have no clue where I put my copy of What My Sister Knew. I put it in a safe place so I can refer back to it when I review it and do the interview. Once I'm done reading Girl Last Seen, I would love to know where that really safe place is because I couldn't find it when I was prepping for this video today. So I did read a physical copy of that. It's somewhere. The next thing I read was a digital review copy of Kiss of the Royal by Lindsay Duga, and that came out earlier this month, and I did a review for it on tour, and it is this world where there was kind of like a happily ever after moment where the true loves kiss, beat the bad guys, and so this world thought that that meant that that is the only thing that you can use to eradicate darkness, and so they started breeding, and now all royals have this kiss and it enhances them in battle, and the main character has the strongest kiss. She is the purest blood, and the guy that she gets partnered with doesn't believe in the kiss, and he's a heretic, and he thinks that kisses should be for romance and not just for battle, and they wind up going on a journey together to beat the big bad, and they have very conflicting views of what a kiss is. So that is available now. I also read a digital copy of The Supervillain and Me, and that was by Danielle Banis. And that was so much fun. It's more contemporary than superhero/supervillain, so if you're not really into that kind of thing, you'll be okay with this book. It is this world where the main character's brother is a superhero, and she starts falling for this guy who may be a new supervillain coming up. But there's also so much more going on than what meets the eye, and she has to figure out what's going on, whether or not she can trust him. She's working on the school play at school. She's a leading role, and so a lot of this takes place at school, and she thinks that one of the boys that she is cast with is the supervillain, and whether he is or not, I am not going to tell you, but she really likes him, and she's hoping it's who she thinks it is, and it's just a lot of fun. And if you like superhero stuff, if you like contemporary stuff, if you like stuff set at a school musical, you're going to like this one. Next, I read the Lara Jean trilogy by Jenny Han. The first book is To All the Boys I've Loved Before, and the next two are P.S. I Still Love You and Always and Forever Lara Jean, which I had borrowed, so I don't have them at the moment. This is the movie cover version, the media tie-in. It's going to be a Netflix movie on August 17th. You're going to be hearing more about this trilogy from me really soon, but it's a really good coming-of-age story. It's about growing up. It's about Lara Jean and her two sisters. Her father is one of my favorite fathers in all of YA literature. He is amazing with the girls. He is a single parent. It is about this girl who, every time she falls in love and decides she doesn't want to be in love anymore, she writes a letter and puts it in her hat box to the boy, and then she's not in love anymore. And something happens. The letters get mailed out, and she winds up in a fictitious relationship with one of the boys so that the boy that she really likes doesn't know that she likes him, and there's all this stuff going on, but it is so much fun, and I can't wait to see how it transfers to the screen. So I read this entire trilogy this month, and I'm doing an interview with Jenny Han for Broadway World, so look forward to that. Next, I dive back into The World of the Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken, which I've been reading since it first came out. The Darkest Minds is going to be a movie tomorrow. It is coming out on Friday, August 3rd, and I'm excited to see it. I'm a little nervous to see how it transferred to the screen, but I'm very hopeful, and I read The Darkest Minds, Never Fade, and In the Afterlight. And then I read the brand new book, The Darkest Legacy, which just came out this week, Tuesday, July 31st, and it takes place 5 years later. It centers around the zoo. It was really, really good. I loved returning to the world. I loved seeing that some things just haven't changed. And something that really resonated me going through this whole series was the way that some of the stuff is happening today, right now, like Canada and Mexico built a wall against us because they didn't want to get the disease that our kids had, and there are protests and hate groups and people going against anyone who's different from them, and just people on the run and corrupt politics. It is just such a good series. It's very timely even now, and she wrote this in like 2012, 2013. She wrote it before that. That's when it was published, and it's still very timely. And I really hope there are more books. I hope this isn't the end. I kind of just want to see how things fall out in this world, even if it's just a novella. I just need to see these characters one more time. Also, this book had one of my favorite kissing scenes in a YA book this year. Definitely a really good kissing scene, so that is something to look forward to. Definitely pick this up. It's out now, and go see the movie so that they make sequels and so that they adapt more YA films into movies. So even if it's not your cup of tea, go see it, throw them some money. It definitely helps everyone in the industry out. My favorite book of last year was Warcross by Marie Lu, and every year on my birthday, I get to pick one book and ignore all of my obligations and just read whatever I want to read. It can be something really old, something that's not out for like a year, something that just came out, just whatever floats my boat. And I have been trying to get to Wild Card, which is the sequel to Warcross, since I think I got the arc in March, maybe April. I've been trying to get to it for a while. I haven't been able to cram it in, and if I didn't read it for my birthday, I probably wouldn't read it until November, because if you saw that list of interviews I have to do, and then the month-long event in September that I'm already planning for, and then I want to reread Throne of Glass in October, I don't really have a lot of free reading time until November, so it was read it now or forever hold my peace until after the book was out, and I didn't want to do that. I read Wild Card. I just finished reading it on the 31st. I put it down over the weekend because I was just in the mood for something light that didn't require a lot of thinking, which I'll talk about in a minute, and so I just picked it up again and finished it, and it was so good. And I love Marie Lu. I'll read anything she writes. This is definitely very sci-fi. Definitely if you like Ready Player One, you're going to like this. If you like things with video games, things like Ender's Game, just it's so good, and it's hard to explain without spoilers anything about the second book. But if you liked Warcross, you are going to like Wild Card, and it is fantastic. And then the last thing I read in July, over the weekend, I reread the Sophie Jordan Ivy Chronicles trilogy, which is new adult, and it's romance, and, you know, it's got a little bit of drama, it's got a lot about friendship, it's got romance, and just, I was in the mood for romance, and I was in the mood for something that I knew that I liked. Sometimes it's comforting to reread something that you know that you like and that fits your mood, instead of just pick up something new that won't satisfy that reading mood that you're in. So I blew through that trilogy, even though I definitely have a lot that I'm supposed to be reading, and it definitely was worth it. So I'm glad that I reread that. So yeah, these are the 14 books that I read in July. I can't wait to hear what you read this month, what you're planning to read in August. I'm planning to read a lot of retellings, fairy tales, myths, things like that, because I'm co-hosting the Magic, Myth, and Mischief event with Gina from That Artsy Reader Girl, and I'll be uploading a video for that over the weekend, so look forward to more information on that. I would love your help and participation if you are into those things as well, but that is a lot of what I will be reading coming up for the next month and a half, something like that. It's going to be all September long, and that is pretty much what's on my radar from here on out, as soon as I am done these next two books for interviews for Nina Lauren and Christina Lauren. So that is everything from me today. I can't wait to hear what you read this month and what you're going to read in August, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Bye!